is like this. There is a block weighing 200 Newton pulled along a rough horizontal surface at a constant speed by a force of 100 Newton acting at an angle of 30 degree above the horizontal. Let's pause here and try to draw what's the meaning of this, right? There is a block on a rough horizontal surface. Say this is a rough horizontal surface. On this rough horizontal surface, there is a body. The weight of the body is being given to you. Its weight always acts in a vertically downward direction, mg. That is 200 Newton. Pulled along the rough horizontal surface at a constant speed. That means there is no extra force. The force is used to overcome the friction by a force of 100 Newton acting at an angle 30 degree above the horizontal. So this is what our horizontal is. To that horizontal, a force is acting. How much is that force? 100 Newton, making an angle of theta equal to 30 degree. This is what do you mean by horizontal. Now, this force, of course, first let's talk about this weight. When the weight is the force applied by this block on the floor that acts like an action, then there will be a reaction. The same value of reaction, normal reaction, you call it like. So how much normal reaction is applied by the floor on the block is the same value of 200 Newton. Not only that, there is another force. What is that? 100 Newton making an angle 30 degree with the horizontal, which is a vector which can be resolved into components. This becomes an adjacent component. We know the formula for adjacent component as F cos theta. F is 100, theta is 30, cos 30. Cos 30 sin 60 is root 3 by 2, that is 50 root 3 Newton. That's the horizontal component of that force. That force also will have a vertical component. This force will have both components. Vertical component is F sin theta. F is 100. Sin 30. Sin 30 is 1 by 2. So the force acting in the vertically upward direction is 50 Newton. Now I need to find out what is the effective normal reaction is, right? So 200 Newton force is acting on this body in the downward direction because of the weight. 50 Newton force is acting in the upward direction because of the applied force. So the F resultant in vertical downward direction is, why I have written downward? Because downward force is high in magnitude, 200 Newton when compared with the upward force. So resultant force will be in the downward direction, 200 minus 50. That will be 150 Newton. So the effective force acting on the floor of horizontal surface by the body is this much, 150 Newton. That becomes an action. And the same becomes automatically the reaction, normal reaction. So the effective normal reaction acting in the upward direction is 150 Newton. Now, as the body is trying to move in this direction, frictional force opposes the relative motion. This is the direction of frictional force. As the body is moving just with a constant velocity, as moving with constant velocity, force in forward direction must be balanced by the frictional force. If force in forward direction is more than the frictional force, body could have got an acceleration. But it is given that body is moving with a constant speed. That means applied force is just sufficient to overcome the friction. So what we can say, constant velocity, frictional force is the minimum value that is being applied 50 root 3. What's the formula for the frictional force? Mu into normal reaction. Mu, what is normal reaction? Effective force acting on the block by the surface. How much is that? 200 is downward, 50 is upward. So the effective downward force is 200 minus 50 and equal is the normal reaction. Is 50 root 3. This I have already shown here as 150 of course. So if you simplify that, mu into 150 equal to 50 root 3. This is 3 times. So mu equal to root 3 by 3. That is 1 by root 3. That is 1 by root 3 is 1.732. If you calculate that value, it becomes approximately 0.58. That's the coefficient of friction acting between these two surfaces. That's how we have to solve the problem. So while solving the problem, we have taken one important point into consideration. Normal reaction is the resultant upward force by surface on the body. So first of all, we have to find out the resultant force applied by the body on the surface in the downward direction. The opposite will become automatically the normal reaction. Normal, that is perpendicular to the surface of contact. That's how we have to solve the problem. Thank you for watching.